Anyways, again, this is going to be a random rant. I usually do random rants when I'm exhausted and don't have a particular subject that I want to talk about. But regardless of my fatigue and my tiredness right now, I do feel highly creative. So, you know, yesterday I completely cleaned my car out. Got to a point where I just had enough. I take Luna, my dog, and my brother's dog Bungie running all the time. I travel with them, and just got kind of tired of all the dog hair in the back seats and shit. And there's just like crumbs and shit and wrappers. It's like, what the fuck? What am I doing? It's like, gotta clean this shit up. And Feng Shui is a very real thing. Whether you call it Feng Shui or some people call it Feng Shui, whatever the fuck you call it, it's a very real thing. And for people who don't know what that is, it's basically kind of a spiritual science, a system of keeping your living quarters clean in a particular way to attract abundance and to induce mental clarity and peace, happiness, and draw love into your life, you name it. So, that may sound crazy to a lot of people, but once you realize that your living space is literally an extension of who you are, then it may begin to make more sense. And, proof of the fact that your living space is an extension of who you are here in the physical world is due to, walk into anyone's room or their house and it's decorated differently. Based on people's interests, their emotional state, you name it. So, usually really successful people, especially financially, they keep their shit clean, You never see businesses and law firms, banks, you never see clutter and garbage thrown everywhere, no. So, I'm not saying that there aren't successful people who party all the time and have beer cans laying everywhere, you name it, no. Because there are. But there's a common thread here with really successful people financially. I do think that whether they admit it or not, they're practicing the art of Feng Shui or Feng Shui. Basically, it's just keep your shit clean. Because it is an extension of who you are. And on the subconscious level, the physical level, you name it, when you have a bunch of shit in your room, or when you have a bunch of shit in your vehicle, like I did, it can be stressful. Because it looks like shit. And you don't shit where you eat. So, anyways, I feel so much better now that this car's clean. I vacuumed the shit out of everything. It took me like an hour and a half. Cleaned my trunk out. And after, there was so much clutter. I had my juicer in the back disassembled in the trunk. I had just tons of books everywhere just getting crumpled and shit. These expensive books that I purchased. Like, what? Ding dong. Wake up, dude. So, this is one thing that I've struggled with throughout my life because I'm so fascinated with my studies and, the things I do in my free time that to a large extent, it's like, I don't really give a fuck about the mess. I'm doing my shit, the mess can come later, but if you take care of the mess first and then do your studies, it's a much more peaceful situation and environment. I mean, there were times where my room was so messy, it's like I was looking for this particular book and I couldn't find it, looking for this, looking for that, couldn't find it, there was shit under my bed, just tons of loose papers with notes. But when you have all that shit situated, things just flow much easier. The study session or whatever you're doing is less stressful. So, keeping the floor clean, keeping the hardwood floor cleaned, keeping the carpet clean, these things, whether people believe it or not, have a profound effect on one's life. So keep that in mind. And that's one thing everyone can start doing. Just, it's a big part of health, in my opinion, as well. And I know that may sound contradictory because my car was so fucking messy, but proof of the fact that it's good for health is just how much better I feel. This happens all the time. Every time I clean my shit, it's like, wow, I feel better. Why don't I keep it like this? But again, my thirst and my lust and my desire for wisdom and knowledge usually gets in the way. And I kind of like the messy alchemical room with all the scattered notes everywhere, with all the different symbols on the different magic manuscripts I'm reading of sorcery and things like that, and the candle wax that had melted on my floor, and you know, just cool shit like that. But I am going to start practicing Feng Shui or Feng Shui, however you pronounce it, heavily for the next year. I'd like to just keep this up for the rest of my life. But essentially, you know, Feng Shui, again, it's kind of a spiritual approach towards keeping your environment clean, to keep you peaceful, to keep you financially abundant. But I think a little bit of it is a little out there. You know, like many people will say that if you keep your toilet seat open, it's symbolic of, you know, it represents like money going down the toilet and things like that. So to me, there's a little bit of there's some psychotic aspects to it. But I mean, if I knew a woman who believed that if her toilet was open all day, her money would fucking start disappearing. And maybe if you believe that, it can help. Or maybe if you believe that and you leave your toilet open, your money will go down the toilet. But to me, a toilet's where you shit. It's not where you put your money. So, but there is a profound effect. Again, I'm repeating myself. Fucking A. There's a profound effect on keeping your things clean. Not only should we strive to take care of the cleanliness of the human vessel, the human body, the corporeal body, the fleshly corpus, the organic body that we navigate the physical dimension with. Not only should we seek to keep that clean, but we should seek to keep the environment that we live in clean, because it does profoundly induce peace. Man, I really am starting to feel the effect of my tiredness. Jesus. But excuse me, just totally lost my train of thought there. That's what happens when you stay up too late, ladies and gents. I do have my I previously made a video on how to make this simple water filter. It's like the hobo filter for people who don't have a ton of money on water distillers and all these fancy gadgets. You can outfit yourself with one of these for very cheap, and it does work. Nice for traveling with. Tastes good. Hishu Binchotan charcoal, which is what's in this, is highly effective, works great. Alright. But getting back to a little bit of the Feng Shui, I mean, you can go really extreme with it, and you can go on the internet or get it in Feng Shui books. You can find this thing that's called the BAGUA map. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's B-A-G-U-A, I believe. BAGUA or BAGUA map. Basically, it's a map that you can use to situate a particular room in a way that, to Feng Shui artists, they say that if you outfit your room this particular way, it helps the qi, the vital energy, move through the room more effectively. And I've done it. I've practiced it. I've set my room up according to the BAGUA map. And, you know, it did feel different, but I don't know. With them, you know, with the BAGUA map, you're supposed to situate your room with different quarters. So, like, a particular corner of the room is supposed to be your money corner, and you're supposed to set up, like, a little altar and put, like, a live plant on the altar, which represents, like, fertility and abundance, growth of abundance, things like that. It's been so long since I've studied Feng Shui that I don't really remember the rest of the map, but it is pretty interesting. You know, there's a ton of people who swear by it. I think, you know, essentially it just comes down to cleanliness, and I think cleanliness is the key. Everyone that I know who has messy houses and messy rooms, like ridiculously messy houses and rooms, they struggle financially. And most of the people I know who have their shit clean, the floors clean, you name it, they're doing alright financially. They just seem to be happier, you name it. But, you know, it is what it is. Aside from that, there's a few other things I wanted to talk about. I have a little bit of sage here. I've been doing the smudge stick test for a while now. I can't say that I'm too enthralled with, you know, there's a lot of new age hype about to get rid of evil spirits, all you do is light some sage and this and that. I mean, it smells good, but, you know, you can't believe everything that Can't believe everything you read on the internet. It does smell good, however. Looks cool. Just a little bit of a stick that I have left, a smudge stick. A smudge stick is when you take bundles of fresh sage, wrap them up with a string and let it dry, and then you have yourself some natural incense. I'm going to have to roll the window down in here. Jesus. But the sun's coming up. It's going to be a beautiful day today, thank God. It's been raining a lot here in California lately, and sometimes I like the rain, sometimes I don't. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Most of the rain on the planet right now is acid rain. There's literally a giant smoke ring around the Earth right now, and you know the natural cycles of Earth, the natural cycles of everything here on Earth are just, they're so different in the way that they're supposed to be that it really is pretty grim out here in hell. And yes, I call this hell. This is the underworld, and at the same time, it's like people complain about how negative it is here on planet Earth. I mean, it really is a beautiful gift to be alive in a realm, a dimension where you can seek to improve the quality of life here in this realm. Not only for yourself, but for the animals, for other people, for nature. So, in my opinion, we're literally supposed to be like the Earth medics who are here to be Earth stewards and take care of the planet, to care for the species, and to evolve, to travel through the different star systems, to achieve Kundalini, to become hyperdimensional, which was our divine birthright, you name it. So, a lot of people get really trapped in this invisible prison when they start becoming more conscious, because they'll start seeing just how many crazy technologies are being used to suppress consciousness. They begin to become privy at just how much mind control there is, all the different satellite harassment, electronic harassment, different radio wave frequency weapons, directed energy weapons, remote neural monitoring, V2K technology, also known as voice-to-skull technology. There's so many different negative things on the planet, but you can get really trapped by that. It's a lot easier to be seduced by doubt, negativity, and fear than it is to be seduced by peace, happiness, and joy amongst all this insanity. Now, I'm not saying to just be one of these new age pricks out here that just goes around touting love and light and just pretending like everything's okay. No. But it's a gift to live on this prison planet right now, because we are the soldiers for the forces of good who are attempting to combat the negativity. It's a fucking game, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. So you either watch the game or you participate in it. And the natural kingdom is something worth fighting for. It's beautiful. The oceans, the skies, the fucking trees, the bees, the fucking everything. It's fucking beautiful. So, again, it's very... I know a lot of people who are just possessed by fear about this government and all this Agenda 21 shit. And it's like, what are you doing to fucking increase your fucking enlightenment? What are you doing to rebuild your armor shield, your physical body, your Merkaba, your Kundalini, your Uraeus, your Nimbus? The Nimbus is the halo, and the halo is a very real thing. The halo wasn't just some little ring that these artists drew around these saints and shit, to represent enlightenment. Got thrown off track there by this fucking truck. But again, the halo, also known as the Nimbus, is something that is very real. And, it kind of represents a bio-spiritual, physical, etherical, astral, hyperdimensional disc of the zodiac that spins in gyrospheres around the head when the Merkaba becomes activated. So, I don't know, that's a topic that's way too complicated for me to talk about in this state of fatigue and tiredness. But I am getting close to 20 minutes. Unfortunately, this camera shuts off at about 20 minutes. You know, $300 camera shuts off at 20 minutes. It's irritating. But maybe some of you guys watching this video right now know why cameras do that. I've read that with this particular camera it's common, so I don't know. Anyways, but again, for all you people who are possessed by the fear of, you know, Agenda 21 and all this MK Ultra shit and directed energy weapons and all this shit, what are you doing to fucking increase the strength of your armor shield? And it starts by taking care of the flesh. You don't just start rebuilding your Merkaba. You don't have a body that can even handle the Merkaba moving through it. So, in my opinion, the foundation of any spiritual practice, the prerequisite, the foundation should be taking care of your health in a righteous way. Not just, you know, eating hamburgers and taking B vitamins and, you know, thinking you're doing everything the right way because your doctor said all you need is this and that. Come on, there's more to it. There's more to it, ladies and gentlemen. Doctors, many doctors I know, they're very nice people. But they kind of have their heads up their rear ends when it comes to spirituality. You know, the very fact that doctors aren't privy to the arcane reality and the divine properties of our organ system, blood, the aura. I mean, these are the real states of that is the equivalence. That is the absolute representation of real health. Is enlightenment. Enlightenment is when the body is not just the body, it's the body coupled with the chariot, also known as the Merkaba, the nimbus, the aura. So the Western medicine completely neglects the most important parts of our physiology, because these divine aspects of our physiology, this energy shield around us, is what keeps the physical protoplasm animated with spirit, also known as life. So that's why I take everything I hear from doctors with a little pinch of salt. Because they just aren't well-rounded, in my opinion. They're good at practicing the things that they've learned through their curriculum and their education. But just because they've learned to regurgitate a bunch of shit doesn't mean that they're privy to the secrets of the corporeal body, the kingdom, the temple. Fucking A. I feel like continuing this rant. I'm going to shut this video off, start recording another 20 minutes. We'll see how far I can get into another rant before I fall asleep.